frame here, right, for people is to remind you guys that capitalism doesn't just exploit labor, it extracts care. Because motherhood becomes another site of production where worth is measured by endurance rather than presence. And that's super important, right? Because even like during your solo parenting journey, finding yourself, becoming a lawyer, going to school, doing all of these things, it is literally, even when you think about these relationship conversations, it's like, how much can you endure?
Mhm. Why?
I don't want my relationships to be measured by my level of endurance. Okay.
Yes. Listen, I tell people this all the time. I've been in therapy on and off for 15 years. And when I was in therapy during that interregnum, when I was solo parenting, we were having a conversation about my ex. And my therapist said, and I said, "Oh, well, if he did this, I could live with it." And she was like, "But why is that the barometer? Why are we working towards something you can live with?"
Like I could just bear with it. Like,
Right. She was like, "If that's all you're working towards, that's all you'll ever get." Oh my God. Huge light bulb. Like I
yeah,
literally had not thought about it that way. Right?
no, because we're programmed for the bare minimum, right? Like capitalism, supremacy culture wants us like, because when people are like, oh, it could always be worse. I'm like, it can always be better.
Right.
Why the fuck are we always talking? I know it could be worse. Like, I know. Why are we not imagining what could be better? Like, I'm like, I will ride with you. I am a rider. I will not die with you. Okay. So if you are not doing the work, right? If you are not willing to step up, if you are not willing to be in a thriving relationship, I will leave you. And that's
Yeah.
anybody. I will
Right.
I will I will leave the situation because riding is not the same as dying. And what happens is quite often in that like ride or die ideal and that it becomes the endurance, right? It becomes how much can you put up with until when? I break. I have nothing left to give to myself, to
Yeah.
anyone else, right? And that is what we demand consistently of women. I think
No,
that we
it's sort of
demand that in certain ways of men too, but
yeah.
I'm sorry, right?
Oh, I was saying that is sort of the point that I had gotten to, right? Where I was like, "Oh, I don't even know who this person is anymore in this relationship. Like, who is this person who is just willing to deal with madness? That's not even me. That's some
Listen,
other person."
yeah,
Right?
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that awareness. So then the reflection that I ask for people as we move on to the next space, because I definitely want to get into your year mantra and how you wound up here and doing that work for yourself, is to ask yourself, where in life have you been praised for holding too much? Because I think that that happens too. And we are so limited on praise, right? Because we just, as a society, we don't loud up all of the amazing small things. So, but we get praise for, wow, you stuck around, you're doing such a good, I'm drowning. Like, I'm dying.
Right.
I'm not doing a good job. I am surviving by the hair of my chinny chin chin, right? So ask yourself that. Also ask, what has been called resilience that was actually necessity?
Mhm.
Right? Like, that is super important, right? Like, no, I'm sorry, the cat is everywhere. Okay, I'm gonna move on. And then ask again, what did your body carry last year that no one saw, right? Because you said you had a year of your motto that kind of shifted the way you show up, which is gonna lead us into start where you are and do what you can. So I'm asking you, what did this mantra give you access to that productivity culture never did? Right? Like, because you are hella productive member of society talking about a law professor, a teacher, administrator, a mom of six. And at
Yeah.
one point in time, I felt like you're productive as hell. So talk to me. What did it
Yes.
give you access
Right.
to?
So, I mean, first and foremost, it gave me access to rest, right? To really leaning into Deidre, you are tired. I mean,
Hmm.
truly, this is I don't know how to explain this exactly, but for a long time, it was hard for me to recognize when I was tired.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was so like in my head as opposed to in my body that I really couldn't tell when I was tired, you know?
No, you just
So
fall.
right. Exactly. So over the course of this year, I have really learned to tune into my body's indications that I'm tired and then to be responsive to that, right? Okay, you are tired. Go lay your little self down somewhere, Deidre.
I
right?
love responsive care.
Yeah, and that has been, I mean, just in terms of my own mental health, physical health, all of it, so helpful, right? Because the thing that you don't realize when you're not in tune in that way is how much noise collects in your head. Like, it just gets very noisy. At least for me, that's the right when I'm not resting the way that I need to be. For me, it gets very loud in my head, makes it very difficult to have clarity, right?
Yep.
And so I feel so much more, um, so much clearer in my thinking, in my decision making, etc. And so that's a big part of it. The other things that it has really been helpful for with me is like this is the first year, the first academic year that I've been teaching students all online. And so I was really thinking about how to change my pedagogy to do that well. And it's really a function of like slowing down, right? I just have to be much more intentional in the classroom because I don't have like body language cues
Yeah.
I have in person. And so the mantra, like, start where you are. Okay, Deidre, you're teaching online in this environment that's very different. You're learning alongside your students, right? They're learning property law, but you're learning
How to
online
navigate.
pedagogy, right? And so what that means that things are going to take longer than they would in a face-to-face environment. So I guess patience with that, right? With the time that things take as you're learning how to do something new, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are the two big, start where you are, do what you can, like the being responsive to my own, especially my own physical needs for rest, and then also